My name's Dave Parkinson and we're coming to you live from Hayward Road in Sale for this Betfred League One clash between Swinton Lions and Workington Town. So, here are the teams. For Swinton Lions, it's Louis Roberts at fullback. It's a backline of Frank Sargent, Ellis Anderson, Aaron Lynch and Ethan Fitzgerald. Half-back pairing of Jack Stevens and Will Roberts. It's a front row of Alfie Sinclair, George Roby, Jamie Reddycliffe, and a back row of Gavin Rodden, Jake Davis and Kenny Baker. It's a bench that features Bobby Shingler, Jordan Brown, Adam Sidlow and Jordan Pagger, and the 18th man if needed is Dylan Kelly Duffy. For Workington Town, well, they've been forced into a couple of late changes, unfortunately. Spencer Fulton is unwell and he will not take the field this afternoon. His place has been taken by Zarin Galea, so he's moved from fullback. Going in at fullback, that means that Colt Walker-Taylor steps up from 18th man. It's a position that he's played before. He's played a lot at fullback in the amateur ranks, but probably the first time he's got his chance to really shine in the pro ranks.
Absolutely, and there's no pressure on it, straight in at the last minute, but professional players will always try and find a way to make sure they get the best out of the position to play in, so I'm sure he'll thrive in that position today.
So the remainder of the back line is Andy Jacassi making his debut on one wing, Dave Eccleston in on the other. It's Zarin Galea in at centre alongside Rio Corkill. Half-back pairing, you heard the conversation and the way that it was going regarding would it be a regular half-back pairing, because it was a little bit mix and match towards the end of the game last time out as far as the game against Dewsbury, and I can confirm that Jake Carter will line up alongside Don Weir. That is a real plus, because Jake Carter, prior to his injury, had been playing some phenomenal rugby league, really taking to that half-back berth to like a duck to water.
Yeah, we're going through the gears, as a half-back, and that's exactly what you need at this level, to just go through the gears and surprise players as well, and I think he's been doing that week in, week out before his injury.
In the front row, it's Ross Ainley, Callum Phillips and Stevie Scoley. I mentioned before, tons of experience there.
Yeah, and in the pack, that's exactly what Workington will be looking for today, a bit of punch there and get off to a great start and see where they can end up.
We do have a bit of youth in that back row though. Sam Grice coming in, the other player to join from Castleford Tigers in midweek. He's alongside Cooper Howlett and Jack Stevenson locks the scrum. It's a bench that features Lucas Castle, Jamie Doran, Callum Farrer and Guy Graham, and the 18th man is now Grant Reid if he's needed. Now Swinton Lions coming out beneath us. We're not that far away from the kick-off here now. What are you expecting out of it?
I'm expecting a really, really tight game. I reckon there'll be 2 points in it, but I do believe it could go either way.
So I think I agree with you, I think we're in for a really, really exciting tussle. I'm hoping there's a few more points in it, to be honest. The last time these ties met was back in April, and Town were victorious by 32 points to 12 up at Derwent Park. But I think Swinton on this pitch, they're more than a match for most teams. They actually beat North Wales here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and North Wales have been doing very, very well recently, but here we see Workington Town are coming out in their pink strip and they'll be hoping for a fantastic away day.
Yeah, it's definitely a highlight is that shirt, isn't it? Fantastic. And you know what, I'm a big fan of different strips, and I really like the Swinton one as well, with the big white lion emblazoned across the chest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're two beautiful kits, and I think we're hoping for a beautiful atmosphere today and a fantastic game.
Now, we also have had a late change as a referee as well. So Adam Williams is the man in the middle this afternoon. He wasn't originally scheduled to take charge of this game, but I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes as well. He is a referee, I should say, that has been around this division for some time. He's also been around the National Conference League, so he's more than capable.
Absolutely. I think no pressure when you're refereeing. There'll be no big decisions, I'm sure, to make in the game.
So we're right at the start of this game. It's going to be Workington Town to kick off, and potentially Swinton Lions to have first use of possession. So Carter takes the customary couple of steps back. The whistle comes in from Mr. Williams. The kick-off is underway. It hangs in the air. Central kick fielded by Swinton is Reddycliffe on the charge. You know you're getting on a bit when you remember Dad's playing of players, and he's another guy. So his dad played centre for Lee Miners Rangers for a good number of years and was a real try-scoring player.
Oh, beautiful stuff, you know.
So Swinton Lions in possession. They've halfway through this set already as it's fed across to the left hand side. The ball has been spilled. That's an early error. A first set error for Swinton Lions, just 30 metres out from their own line, and that error came from Louis Roberts. He's been Mr. Dependable lately, hasn't he, for Swinton? But on that occasion, he wasn't ready for the pass, I don't think.
He wasn't. I think it was one that was straight at him as well, and I think he probably should have caught it, but you know, real pressure now on the Swinton Lions line, I'm assuming.
A real chance for Workington Town at the start of this game. Don Weir to feed this scrum. Callum Phillips at the base. He'll pick up. He'll skim it to the left. Carter links with Corkill. Corkill put the step on and then charged right into the chest there of Will Roberts. Saw Will Roberts play at the end of last season for St Helens Reserves. He's a tidy player, and I'm looking forward to seeing again how he goes in the professional ranks. But Town already inside that 20 metre mark. Phillips will move it to the right. Weir keeps it going down that way. Oh, they're under a bit of pressure. As a result, Carter flung the pass out to Grice. Grice wasn't quite expecting it. He just overrun the ball by a fraction, and as a result, it's going to be ball back to Swinton Lions. And did you hear a lion roar in the background?
Did I? You know, I think that's a real let-off as well for Swinton there. They'll be absolutely delighted that they managed to, you know, force an error from Town there.
I've got to be honest, I thought Grice was running a really good line, but because of the inside pressure that the Swinton defence put on Carter, it brought the error on, didn't it?
Yeah, like I say, really good defence, and now we'll hope for, you know, a decent attacking set.
So Sargent takes the first carry, the winger. Scored a real scrappy try the last time these two sides met. They've whipped it back into the middle. A tackle is made. It's a very solid one there on Alfie Sinclair. Sinclair will find his feet, plays it to Roby. Roby passes right, little drop off pass, finds Reddycliffe, and he was running like one of those little cartoon characters. His legs were going 10 to the dozen. He hardly got anywhere forward because of Ainley's challenge, and now they'll bring it directly through the middle. 35 metres out from their own line here, Swinton in centre field. They'll play it to Roby. Roby will skim it to the right. It'll continue down this way. Kick comes in, and it's a solid kick as well from Will Roberts. Cole Walker-Taylor will pick it back on his own 20 metre line. Is it me, or does the grass look a little bit longer inside that 20 up at the top?
It does indeed, you know, and that could be a really sticky patch for both teams later on in the game.
Here's Andy Jacassi, first carry for Workington Town, first carry at a first team setting. Player that I know quite a bit about. I went on tour with him a couple of years ago when he was playing for the England Community Lions under-19s, who won against France in the European Championships. It was a really great tournament, that, as Workington continued to bring the ball down this left hand side. Good run, power pack run from Howlett, turned on his back, but he's reached the halfway line, and he'll play this ball to Phillips. Phillips will pass inside looking for Scully. Scully knew he was going to get whacked, and I suppose the work that he's done after getting whacked was tremendous. It's bought him another 5 metres. They're 40 metres out from the line. Last tackle. Kick comes in from Carter, hangs it high in the air. Steadying himself is Louis Roberts to collect, and then he spun it back for Ethan Fitzgerald, and Gerald sparks the counter-attack, but he stopped 15 metres from his own line. Stevenson with the tackle. Now it's worked out to Sargent down that left-hand side, and he's well wrapped up by Jacassi, by Weir. They're forcing him back. They're carrying him all the way back behind his own 10-metre mark. He's going to play this ball just 5 metres out from his own line. That was great pressure, that, wasn't it?
A brilliant defence. That's exactly what you want to see early in a game. Composure, and that's exactly what they got.
And they followed it up as well. Ainley putting in another massive hit, and as a result, Swinton are inside their own 10.
This is really good defence from Workington so far in this set.
Roby picks up, sends it to the right. Stevens released it. Comes further wide, tackle comes in. It's a very solid one on Aaron Lynch, and the former Hurst Finch man will stand up 25 metres from his own line. Now they're trying to spread play down the left. Oh, they've got it wide, and again it's been spilled. Referee says it goes backwards. Sargent chips over the top. He's got a call from his touch judge. It is going to be called back for a knock on. Well, I thought he was being a bit lenient when he waved play on, to be honest there.
I was going to say I was surprised that wasn't given as a knock on, but then in the end it was. And brilliant defence from Workington. They really earned that, and now they've got a really good chance to, you know, build some pressure on the Swinton Lions line again.
So what it does mean, though, is that Swinton have had the ball in their hands 3 times so far. They've made 2 mistakes. I mean, you can't keep doing that at this level, can you?
No, it's a real coach killer for sure. So they'll be hoping to, you know, sort that out in the next few sets for sure.
So Town will start this set just on the edge of the 20 metre line. Grice chalks up at 7 metres with that carry. That's a great run from him. Picked up by Phillips. He finds Weir. Weir drops it back, looking for Scully. Scully will cross that 10 metre line. He's wrapped up by 3 players in the end, but finds his front, and this will be a fairly quick play of the ball if he can just get rid of Alfie Sinclair. And it's brought to this left hand side. Halfbacks link up, back to Howlett. He sprints out of the first tackle. He set himself for the try line. He's 2 metres out from the line. That's where the defence just about catches up with him. Phillips, long pass to the right. Carter across to Weir. Weir throws a dummy. Surges through. He's half got through. He's got through the first tackle. Eventually he's tackled 2 metres out from the line. They're just about holding on to him, and I tell you what, they're living dangerously at the moment to the Lions as Scully all wrapped up. Brilliant tackle there from George Roby. He was quick off his line. Last tackle signalled here. Where's this ball going to go? It'll go to the right. Carter under pressure, gets his kick away. A little bit too much on that one, but it has been taken dead from a Swinton Lions point of view. It's going to be a dropout. What do I know? It was a perfect kick in the end, wasn't that?
It was indeed. And you know, more pressure on that Swinton Lions line now for Workington. They've got to keep building it and then potentially get a try at the end of it.
How good was that from the halfback Carter though, because he was put under a ton of pressure and yet he still managed to find in the end what was a pretty pinpoint kick.
It was, and now they'll be offering for it, like I say, a good set.
A lengthy dropout, it'll bounce twice. Stopped off the boot of Cole Walker-Taylor near the halfway line. Ainley launching back into the attack. I think the last time when I was alongside Jordan Weir, he was saying that he hasn't scored a try in professional rugby league yet. Is today the day he breaks his duck as Carter finds an inside ball. Stevenson's lost it under some pressure. Great work, to be honest, on the inside from Jamie Reddycliffe. Stevenson takes exception to the tackle. There's no love lost between those two, but Swinton Lions celebrate that hit. And that is a forced error. That was really, really good pressure from the inside and a fantastic hit from Jamie Reddycliffe.
Yeah, very good hit, and that's exactly what you want early in the game. You want to, see out the side, and they've done that early on, and now they'll be open for, like I say, to actually see out the set without making an error for the,
roughly, how long have we been going? About 8 minutes, is it?
Yeah, about 8 minutes.
About 8 minutes in this game. Both sides a little bit full of errors in this initial stage. I know that certainly John Tigoli was hoping for better. It is a dry afternoon when all said and done. I'd have more sympathy for them if they were playing yesterday, because I know it was intermittent showers down here yesterday, but certainly not at the moment. But was Town really relishing this defensive effort? They again push Swinton back, and they've lost a good 10 metres, so they're on the edge of their own 20 metre line, trying to play their way out of trouble as Baker passes across, looking for the running there of, I think that's Jake Davis underneath that one. He'll play this ball infield. It's moved, dropped back over the shoulder of Will Roberts, again not really making that much of an impression on the defence on this particular occasion. Quick play the ball. Roby skims it to Baker. Baker moves it wide. Stevens, and then that's a long ball all the way out to Sinclair. Well wrapped up though, just over the halfway line. From a Workington Town point of view, Zarin Galea had to be quick off his mark. Kick comes in now on the last tackle from Stevens. Well pouched there from Cole Walker-Taylor inside his own 20. What a counter-attacking run that is. He's running 15 metres out from his line and where he took it.
Brilliant, and like we were saying before, coming in for an 18th man starting, that's exactly what you need.
Jacassi with the next carry, centres the movement. He's tackled on his own 40 metre line. Phillips is scanning, he's looking where he can send this ball. Spots perhaps a weakness down on the right side. Galea jumps out of the first tackle. He's put down on the halfway line. Thankfully there was another 2 players in attendance from a Swinton Lions point of view, but Town still in possession. Weir dropping it back for Ainley. Ainley just broke the first tackle, makes a couple of metres beyond contact. They're just over the halfway line here, Workington Town. Phillips again probes down the right. Kick comes in from Weir. It's been played at. Oh, Galea got so close to getting on the end of that one. Juggled with it, and it just went forward in the end. But that was a chance, that.
It was, and it was complete hard lines as well. It's just one of those things sometimes. It doesn't come off here, and it was that for Zarin Galea there.
It does make you wonder sometimes, and I know as a player yourself, you're always told, aren't you, put a bit of kick pressure on.
Yeah, well, I mean, in BDRL, you were supposed to give them 10 seconds, which is a bit different. But
but Swinton did put the pressure on, but yeah, it nearly counted against them, didn't it?
It did, yeah, and it's crazy how it works out sometimes. But from a Swinton point of view, they'll be delighted they saw that out when from Workington. They'll just be extremely unfortunate on that one.
So still 0-0 in this one, and most of the action being played as we look on to our left, which is the direction that Workington are attacking in the first half. But a real running chance now as Sargent is brought down. There's complaints of a high tackle, but he's only a short and stocky winger. Roby works it back over his shoulder, and they're trying to get their way in field, but the stop near the halfway line ends up being a good tackle from Carter. Across to the middle it comes. Baker works it out, and it's amongst the back line all the way out to Lynch, who makes the break. It's a great run from the right centre, makes a good 20 metres. He'll play it 30 metres out from the line. Infield it's moved now. Running across the line is Roberts linking with Stevens straightening the move up. Eventually he's wrestled to the ground, 25 metres out from the line. Swinton Lions now applying pressure. Roby goes, puts it left, kick comes in from Rodden. It's a decent one as well, and he's got to play at it there as Cole Walker-Taylor. I'm not even sure how much he knew about that, because he had to shuffle the ball out of play and got it dead.
He did, and that was the most important part there. If he were to make a slight error and give Swinton Lions a potential try, he'd have been absolutely disgusted with himself. So, you know, safety first, give away the goal line dropout, but it's better than conceding a try.
So we've been going for what, about 10 minutes in this game now?
Yeah, about 12 minutes or so.
About 12 minutes, and this is the first real spell of pressure, to be honest, that Swinton Lions have put on. So we'll have to see exactly what will happen on the end of this one. Well, it's a lengthy dropout, goes over the halfway line, but look at this running style, straight back into the action, goes Alfie Sinclair, but he was met by a solid shoulder from none other than Zarin Galea. He's about half his size, isn't he? Redcliffe going nowhere in the centre of the ground. Well caught on the 40 metre line by Stevie Scoley. Roby brings it to Baker, who makes good inroads through the centre of the ground. Up to the 30 metre line. Hope you're enjoying coverage this afternoon on BBC Sports Online for BBC Radio Cumbria, as it's brought down this right side. Running chance there for Louis Roberts. He's stopped on the 20 metre line though by Carter. Infield it's moved now. Couple of passes, finds Sinclair. Sinclair knew he was going to get whacked. Oh, tell you what, there's a real problem there. There's a knock on as well for Sinclair, but I was thinking there was more of a problem for Phillips because he ended up on his back there.
He did, but it looks like he might just be about okay. He just might need a couple of seconds to just regain his composure again. And
wouldn't surprise me if they get him checked out for a head knock though, given the sort of protocols that we've got these days.
It would make sense, yeah.
So with us going for what, 12 or 13 minutes, what do you make of the opening section of the game?
Well, it's just been a bit, it's like both teams haven't really got going yet, making a couple of errors here and there. I mean, Swinton will be much happier at the two sides right now, probably, because they've seen out a few sets. They're on the front foot here as well in this set, but it's just, seeing it all out really. It's a really, really interesting game so far.
Anyone particularly impressing you so far out there, do you think?
I think the middles. I think the middles as a whole for both sides. They're putting pressure on the backs especially to make errors, and that's exactly what they're doing so far.
So he's going to be okay to continue, and the referee has ruled that this is Swinton's ball. So the kick comes in from Stevens. It's a reverse kick, a real clever kick.
Fantastic.
It's bounced up superbly. They've gone and scored here of the Swinton Lions. Well, that bounced up superbly in favour of Jake Davis. He just had the right weight on that kick and everything, didn't it? To be fair, from Jack Stevens.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. And just pouncing on that loose ball there. That's exactly what Swinton Lions wanted, and it's a fantastic start to the game for them.
14 minutes gone. First try of the game. It's first blood, Swinton Lions. Kenny Baker actually that's touched out. I think I said Davis.
You did, yeah.
The pair of them have got very similar hairstyles, I have to admit.
Well, the experience there, and what I was saying before about the middles, starting this game on top, and the middle goes and scores the first try of the game.
So it's a real decent kick, aimed towards the post. Kenny Baker, the man who touched it down, and Swinton Lions have the front with this kick to come from Will Roberts, and he's definitely a player that can kick goals.
I mean, absolutely. I'll be mesmerised if he misses this one right in front of the sticks.
So he's took this ball about 10 metres back from the post. He's faced a study of concentration, charges in now. Bright orange boots, you can't miss him. The flags are raised. It is 6-0 in favour of the Swinton Lions.
And the crowd goes wild.
Now, I know Harvey, you was actually saying with the scoreboard, because it does have 40 underneath, and we was questioning whether or not it would actually be like, and help us out and be like a stopwatch for us. And it's not, it still says 40.
No, thankfully I'm using it off my phone, so make sure it's actually working. Well, to a degree anyway. As far
So back on the halfway line with Carter. Where's he going to send this one? It's again straight down the middle of the ground. Taken by Stevens. Whoa, launched the huge figure of Alfie Sinclair back into the action, and he's met with a great challenge 15 metres from his own line. That's the running of Sargent, bringing it directly into the middle of the field. Roby picks up, sends it right. Roberts plays it off. It's a scuttling run forward there from Louis Roberts. We'll bring it down this right hand side. Good run from Davis. Took on Corkill. Now they're on a bit of a front foot here, to be honest, Swinton Lions. Roberts shapes it up down the left hand side. Oh, it's juggled, and Rodden just about caught up with it. Just for a second I thought he was losing the ball, but then he caught it again, and it's the last tackle, and then it's punted high up in the air. Well taken by Cole Walker-Taylor inside his own 20 metre line. Right, that challenge well too from Davis. Here's Eccleston running to this left hand side. He'll probably wish that he hadn't run it forward, because there was a good 4 tacklers there to bring him down, and he only made 5 metres. Here's Corkill looking to chalk off a few more now. Tackled on his own 30 metre line. Certainly there's some ferocity in these challenges from the Lions now, with Scully. Good run forward from him. Just pushed a couple of defenders off as well. It's a good job Rodden was tackling low. Here's Stevenson. Great run from him to the halfway line. He'll play this ball. Last tackle signalled. It'll be shipped to the right. Kick comes in from Weir under a bit of pressure, and as a result it goes straight down the throat of Louis Roberts. So Louis Roberts sparks the counter attack, brings it all the way across, and it means that Eccleston and Corkill are forced into making the tackle on this left hand side as we look on. So Swinton, another solid drive through the middle, picked up out of dummy half there by Will Roberts. So we've got Will and Louis Roberts. I don't think they're related, although both of them have played for St Helens. So you never know, maybe. You don't have any insider knowledge, do you, Harvey?
Not on that one, no.
I'm not dropping you in this one, am I?
No, don't worry about it.
Here's Rovey at dummy half, attacks down the left side. He's a real danger running from dummy half, and it's a good job that Carter was there to drag him down. Across it comes to the middle. Kick comes in from Stevens. Whoa, and he really did hit that one really well, and to be thankful from a Workington Town point of view, everybody backed away from that, because it was going way too hard. It was way too where nobody was sure quite what would have gone on there.
Yeah, absolutely there, and I think you've got to think as well from a Swinton Lions point of view, they're making Workington go 85 metres potentially in this set to score a try, so they'll be really, really pleased with that set. And now we've obviously got Jamie Doran on the pitch as well for the first time this afternoon for Workington Town.
Yeah, good to see Jamie Doran back. He missed the last game against Dewsbury Rams. There is Eccleston, all caught on his own 20 metre line, plays it to Doran. Doran passes left, looking for the running of Corkill. Corkill makes about 5 or 6 metres. Good tackling there from Redcliffe. Doran brings it to the left. Here's Cooper Howler. Howler has some heavy traffic to try and deal with, and they march him towards the touchline, but he will eventually play it about 2 metres in from that mark, and it comes into Carter. Carter runs across the middle of the field, links with Weir. Weir keeps it moving to Grice. Grice couldn't get out of that challenge. Really good work there, in particular from Ellis Anderson, and the kick comes in from Carter. It's a lengthy one, but it's too lengthy. It's off the field, and it nearly finds those nice ornate gates that we came through to get in the ground. That kick.
Yeah, I don't think that was his idea. You know, I think he'd be a bit disappointed with himself on that one. It's also got Swinton Lions back on the front foot here as well. Really good defensive set from the Lions there, and now they put real pressure on the Workington Town line, and you know they'll be open to try and score a try here. So
if you're just joining us, it's currently 6-0 in favour of Swinton Lions. They scored the only points after 14 minutes. It was a lovely switch kick towards the centre of the ground, and Kenny Baker managed to get on the end of it. Here's Stevens probing, dropping the ball back, looking for Gav Rodden. Runs into the chest there of Grice, who brings him down with the help of Stevenson on the edge of the 20 metre line. It's then rolled across to Baker again. Nice work from Swinton Lions. Louis Roberts trying to skip away from the challenge of Carter, who's monstered him in the end, but they're just 15 metres out from the line again. Fitzgerald at dummy half, fires it into the middle. Roberts to half back, short pass, looked a bit suspect, but Redcliffe wasn't hanging around. He stopped about 15 metres out from the line. Now it's Roby. Roby spins it left. Stevens again. Oh, and it's been put down. That pass was a little bit too bullet-like. And I don't think it was meant for the short running player at his left hand side. I think there was meant to be more width on it.
Yeah, I definitely think so there. They'll be disappointed with that one, Will Swinton, because they're getting into a really, really good position, putting real pressure on the line, on the Workington line. But you know, Workington will look to come out of their own 10 here and hope for a good set and make no errors.
They're growing in confidence here, Swinton, aren't they?
Yeah, bit by bit, every single set, even if they're making the odd error here and there, they're getting pressure on that Workington line, and I think from a coaching point of view, we'd be really, really pleased with Paul Wood.
I know we're at risk of turning this into the Swinton Lions show, but it's just been pretty impressive the way that they're building this last sort of 5 or 10 minutes in particular and putting real pressure on Workington as Cole Walker-Taylor runs it down the right side. He stopped about 15, almost 20 metres away from his own line. Doran brings it down this right side. Galea, it's a solid run. It's more about the metres he made after contact there. He plays it on the 30 metre line. Weir opens it out for Stevenson. Stevenson crashes into 3 players. He'll come up with a quick play of the ball as well. Doran brings it down this right side. He's such a clever player, isn't he? And he's still going strong just outside that 40 metre line. Last tackle signalled. What's the kick going to be like this time from Carter? He's pumped it high. It's certainly one to bring the full back in on. And Louis Roberts takes it and he fires it into the arms of Fitzgerald. He launched himself from deep with that run, didn't he?
He did, yeah, but he went onto the ball really well. Now they've got a penalty as well. Yeah. I believe the first penalty of the afternoon as well.
It is, it's the first penalty of the afternoon. And I tell you what, I'm convinced Fitzgerald started that run in another postcode. He just seemed to come from miles, didn't he? You know, and he really hit it with a lot of pace. But Swinton with the chance to put some pressure on. That kick just going above the head of Eccleston. Into touch on this near side to us. So tap to be taken by Lynch. He finds Will Roberts. He in turn finds Stevens. Stevens spins it out to Louis Roberts on the charge. He's eventually brought down by Grice inside that 20 metre line. Way out on the left hand side of the field. It's brought back towards the centre now. Stevens, short ball, looking for Baker. Baker stopped 10 metres from that line. It's all Swinton Lions putting the pressure on at the moment. Big carry coming in there from Sidlow. The ball goes to ground. It was an offload from Sidlow, and it ends up being a good defensive read from Ainley and from Cole Walker-Taylor. But it could have been so dangerous, that little flick offload.
It could, and I think it was a much needed, mistake from Swinton from Workington's point of view there. They're getting real pressure on their own line again, and I think now it's just about seeing out this next set. Getting good field position and see where they could go from there.
Once again, it is a turnover ball, but it's 10 metres away from the Workington line, and can they get anywhere out of their own end on this occasion? It's brought to the left hand side, looking for the run in a Corkill. He stood up well with a couple of really tough carries in these early stages. Now Eccleston, that's another big carry from him on the edge of his own 20 metre line. Doran looks infield for the running of Howlett. Howlett tries to inspire. Again, wrapped up by 3 players. Just 30 metres away from their own line here, Workington Town. Stevenson will grit his teeth, goes at Roby, gets a chance to have another go at Roby. Made about 5 or 6 metres. The referee, Adam Williams, keeping a close eye on offsides. Kick comes in from Carter. Eccleston's after this one. It's staying in the field of play. Eccleston, will it bounce up for him? Oh, it has to be an athletic take in the end from Louis Roberts. And Roberts did extremely well there. He was just a little bit out of position, but that's better from Carter.
Oh, much better. That's exactly what I was saying before about getting up there in the set, and that's exactly what they did. So from a Town perspective, really, really good set, that one.
Aaron Lynch put under plenty of pressure inside his own 10. He'll play it. Cooper Howlett it was with the stop. This is now Sargent. Come all the way in from his opposite wing to take that carry. Plays for a penalty. Referee just tells him to get up. Sidlow with the next cab off the rank. Good charge from him. 26 metres away from his own line. Roby will pass to his right. Moved across again. they are eager and keen to promote this ball, and this is what you get with young players, and they're a very, very young squad, aren't they, Swinton?
They are indeed, and I think you can see bit by bit, like here, a little chip and chase.
Stevenson chipping over, it's bounced for him, he's over the halfway line, drops it back to Rodden. Rodden now tries to angle his kick over the head of Cole Walker-Taylor. It bounces up for Stevens. Stevens, well tackled by Andy Giacchesi. Well, just for a second, Stevens was thinking, this is my 4 points, and Giacchesi sprung the trap from deep and got all over his back and brought him down. It's turnover possession.
That was a brilliant bit of piece of play from Swinton, but also brilliant from Giacchesi as well. Oh, now he's been smashing the next tackle.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's brave offering himself up with that carry, isn't he?
Especially after just tackling the...
Eccleston with the next one, 10 metres out from their own line. Workington living dangerously. That was great play over the last minute from both sides, to be honest with you. Zarin Gallieri's put down 15 out from his own line. Remember, had to switch from centre into the centres from his normal full-back position due to Spencer Fulton feeling unwell before the start of this game. That was an unscheduled change, as Stevenson recently signed that 2-year contract with Workington, all wrapped up 25 metres from his own line. They'll be really happy with what we've done defensively in this set, Will Swinton, and it's an error from Stevenson as well. Wow.
Yeah, big error that from Workington Town. It's put real pressure on their own line yet again.
You know, I had the fortune of being here earlier on in the season when I think it was Whitehaven came to town, and that time I was doing the summarising like you.
Okay.
And I was really impressed with Swinton down here on that day, because they were just so keen and eager, and we've just seen that keen and eagerness to sort of really put the cat amongst the pigeons, I suppose.
Absolutely. I think it was the first 5 or 10 minutes of this game, it was quite a tight game, but since then Swinton have become on top pretty quickly.
And here's Lynch, all wrestled to the ground 20 metres from the line, 10 metres in from touch, brought back towards the centre. Baker, been much more involved in this game than he certainly was up at Derwent Park, and he stopped 15 metres out from the line. Already has a try to his name, and a long ball from Roby, finds Stevens, shorter pass finds Rodden. Rodden drops the ball back, and here's Sidlow, 5 metres out from the line. They're asking all the questions at the moment. Roby goes from dummy half, can he be held up? He thinks he scored. Referee says he's still in the field of play. He has a perfect view of that, does our referee Adam Williams. And then it'll come down this right side, a real spun pass. Will Roberts putting the step on, turning the ball back on the inside to Davis. Davis just about wrestled to the ground, 2 metres out. It's man-on-man marking here for Swinton. Swinton going down this right side. Eventually the tackle shy of the line. And again, I think Workington Town can be the sigh of relief, Harvey.
They can, but they'll be really pleased with the way they, keeping out Swinton in that set, because, like I said, severe pressure on their own line, and they've done it very well.
So, under plenty of pressure, Workington Town. Back in possession, though, more importantly, 10 metres from their own line. Cole Walker-Taylor, brave carry from him from dummy half. Still, they're inside their own 20. 3 tackles of this set gone. Doran passes for Corkill. That tackle looked like it rode a little high, but there's no suggestion of a penalty. Ball moved across to Stevenson, and Weir finds Grice. Grice on the charge, but he's put down on his own 30 metre line. Under pressure once again, but that's a great run coming in from Castle. Awkward offload. Weir continues to probe down the right side, eventually tackled about 5 metres in from touchline, about 40 metres out from his own line. Last tackle signalled here. Kick comes in from Doran. Oh, he's really steepled that one. It sent Louis Roberts all the way back inside his own 20, and he linked with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald this time wasn't on quite the fly that he was before, but makes it out towards his 30. Roberts under a bit of pressure, gets his pass away for Lynch. Lynch has been pretty impressive down this right side, hasn't he?
He has. He's created real problems for that Workington Town defence, but I think he'll be hoping for more of that throughout the game as well.
Town looking to do better with their defence, and that was good play from Gallia. Bounced off the challenge initially, but he did enough to slow Sargent down, and Sargent will play it on his own 40 metre line. Rodden goes out of dummy half, looks ever so dangerous, gets the ball away. Great tackle from Zarin Gallia, forces a turnover on Anderson. But again, living dangerously, Workington Town. But one thing that I think will please John Tigoli will be this chase back that they have.
Yeah, I think the defence has been absolutely superb throughout the games, really, because they've had really real pressure on them. But great tackle from Zaringalia, that to strip the ball there, and hopefully now from the Town perspective we'll get on the front foot.
We're round about the half-hour mark now, and I'm going to come back to you with the same question that I asked you after about 10-12 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's more Swinton Lions that are on the front foot here, but this game's nowhere near from done. I think Workington Town are completely in this, and it could go either way still.
So Town, crucially, playing a lot of their rugby inside their own half. Carter taking it upon himself to charge his way forward, makes it to the halfway line, does really well, the half back there actually. Doran moves into dummy half. He's got Lucas Castle alongside him. Certainly the introduction of Castle will liven things up in the middle, because he can find an offload, but with defence like that, Workington push back to the halfway line. Now Stevenson, short pass there. Cries around us for a forward pass. I'm not convinced, but here comes Doran. Then Weir moving it out to Cole Walker-Taylor, who's drifting off down the right. Drags in Ellis Anderson, but he was like an annoying rash. He wouldn't go away then. Good Anderson. 40 metres out from the line. Workington. Kick comes in. It's another steepled effort from Doran. Juggled by Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald takes it 10 metres from his own line. I think somewhere in that chase Will Roberts got bowled over, but he's back on his feet and he's called for the ball, and he gets it, does Will Roberts, and it's half back and half back as Carter clamps him, puts him down 20 metres from his own line. Still just 6 points to nil here in favour of the hosts, Swinton Lions, who are playing with plenty of vim and vigour. But if Town keep up this sort of tackling, this is what's keeping them in the game. And Roby goes down the right, sees there's not much doing, comes back to the left, eventually goes to the right again, and he'll play it on the edge of his 20 metre line. Picked up out of dummy half by Stevens. He fires it into the arms there of Sinclair. Sinclair is all held. Good tackle on him. Fairly quick play of the ball. Roby kicks from deep, 30 metres from his own line. It's straight into the arms of Jakesi. Round about the 40 metre line, he skips his way over halfway. He'll play it virtually on the the Swinton 40 metre line, and Lucas Castle bashes his way forward. In fact, I think that's Guy Graham again, very similar haircut. Brought down this left hand side. Carter throws the dummy. Confident play from Carter, who's inside the 20 metre line. Good ball set now for Swinton, this. Cole Walker-Taylor will move it into the middle. Doran brings it across to Weir. Weir back over his shoulder for Grice. Good tackle on him. But there is a penalty. Offside is the call against Swinton Lions. The home crowd don't like it, but the referee's in a much better spot than us to spot any offsides.
There is, and I think this is where Workington now will hopefully get a bit of momentum and get up the field and potentially score a try.
Well, they're going to tap this penalty 10 metres out from the line. In comes Lucas Castle. He's turned into a try scoring machine. He scored 2 in his last 2 games. He's near the line again. He's held up by about 4 players. Eventually he'll play it to Doran. Doran spins it into the arms of Weir. Weir across to Carter. Carter releases it immediately to Cooper Howlett. Howlett 5 metres out from the line, just on this left hand side of the field. They'll angle it down this side again with Carter. Long ball out to Eccleston. Eccleston's unmarked. That was a superb pass from Carter. That was easy as you like for Eccleston. There was nobody in front of him. The defence was all caught ball watching in the end, weren't they?
They just jammed in a little bit, and it was a beautiful pass over from Carter to the winger there, Eccleston. And it's about as easy as it gets for Eccleston, but we'll be absolutely delighted, to get Workington's first try of the afternoon.
4th try of the season for Dave Eccleston. And you're right, I don't think he's had an easier try this season, to be honest. But what a quality pass that was from Carter. I mean, it sailed about 15-20 metres, and it was I know if we were watching NRL, someone would be saying that was like the Sydney Harbour Bridge pass.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the equivalent from a Workington point of view is, but yeah, let's call it that bridge across the Derwent sort of pass. That was real precision.
It was absolutely beautiful, and he'll be looking to try and nail this from the touch line and get the scores back level at 6 apiece.
33 goals for him so far this season. Can he make it number 34? He's only a couple of metres in from the touchline. And that try came after about how long? About what?
34 minutes.
34 minutes. It was much needed from a Workington Town point of view. Puts them on the board, 6 points to 4. It's not a lot in this game at all.
It's not, and it's very tight, and it's exactly what you need at this level. I think it's been so tight in so many games this year in League One, and this is just another absolute corker.
So Carter sets himself. Very steady kicker, very precise. Sends it goalward. Oh, he made that look simple. He made that look as easy as Eccleston made scoring the tries.
Absolutely brilliant kick that. Like I said, getting the scores back level again. What a start to this game. This has been an absolutely brilliant first half. And Workington Town will be absolutely delighted, especially after all the pressure that's been on their own line, to be level at this stage of the game is really, really good.
Yeah, because on balance, Swinton have had far more of the territory, haven't they, in this opening sort of 35 minutes now.
Yeah, but it's just about being clinical sometimes, and that's exactly what Workington have done there.
So, ball taken in by Weir. Weir makes a half break to his own 30-metre line after a quick play of the ball. Galea finds Stevenson. Stevenson always offers himself up as an eager runner. I really like the honest work that is involved in that player. Good kick on the front foot here after a 40-20, to be honest there. Has he got it? That's a super kick. Has he got it? It's not been signalled.
No, I think he just missed
just
it
short.
so slightly.
You know what? It was worthwhile, Jamie Doran having a go for that, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and we've seen it many times before from Jamie Doran, so, you know, why not go for it?
And literally, he is just a foot over that that 20-metre in front of that 20-metre line.
It's barbarous of all margins, you know. It's just one of those things sometimes, and just very unfortunate.
They'll be thankful of that, will Swinton Lions, under a little bit of pressure now, the Lions. Nice quick play of the ball though. It comes out to Sidlow, who gets a lovely offload going for Roby. Roby tackled though in the middle of the field. Great shot it was by Grice too. Wide ball. Oh, but someone said something out of turn here, and as a result it's going to be a penalty to Workington Town. I can't believe that they've gone and said something when they're in possession. Yeah, Roby's just let his voice run away with him.
It just feels crazy when you're in such a position, especially after just what Doran just missing that 40-20 as well. Now Workington are back on the front foot because of that. You know, it feels a very bizarre decision from a Swinton Lions point of view, but they're going for the 2 points.
Yeah, there's a real chance here. I mean, you know, Carter's been kicking fantastically over the course of the season so far. It is a confident point to the post, this one though, because he is 40 metres out from the line. And remember, this is a rugby union ground, so it's a full 40 metres this one. He's going to have to give it a whack.
It is indeed, but you know, after that last one I'm sure he'll be brimming with confidence.
So, chance here for Workington to take the lead. A couple of minutes out from the break. Now on balance, if Workington could go to the half time with a lead, Jonty Gawley's got to be the happiest man here, hasn't he?
Yeah, be over the moon so far, I think. Probably not with the overall perspective of the errors, but defensively absolutely outstanding. Like you say, if they go 2 points up at the break, it'd be huge.
So the ground falls silent. Carter sets himself. Needs excellent contact. Oh, and it looks good off the boot. Has he got the accuracy? You bet he has. And I'm very glad that I didn't park my car behind those sticks, because it's just gone and hit someone's windscreen.
No, I'm sure Jake Carter will be delighted with that, as will Jonty Gawley and the Workington Town team so far. Going 8-6 up.
What we're saying, about 38 minutes now?
Yeah, about 38 minutes. I reckon probably a set or two left in this match. Well, first half.
Oh, mid-range restart. Well taken by Weir, who goes again. Oh, he nearly got his way through then, didn't he, Weir?
Yeah, it's twice he's done that so far in this game, and you know, it's working for him, so why not?
That's a nice run from Grice as well. He's growing into his first team stint here. 40 metres away from the line, his line I should say. Graham, lovely hands there for Stevenson. Stevenson put down 45 metres out from his line. Here's Dora, working it to Graham again. Just offers a real point of difference, does Guy Graham, Scotland international. Plays it 20 metres in from the touchline down that side. They continue to go down that end, and Jacassi picks up a loose pass, and steps in off his wing to make some nice ground, but eventually he's held and has to yield on that 30-metre line. Ball comes in to Doran. Doran gets a low kick away, but it won't be one of his best, and Baker did really well, positioned himself perfectly. So if you just join us, Workington Town now lead by 8 points to 6. They got their first try of the game through Eccleston after 34 minutes, and then just a couple of minutes ago got that penalty off the boot of Carter. Carter also came up with a humongous kick off the touchline as well. In the meantime, Workington have conceded another penalty. That'll disappoint the coaching staff as it's banged into touch and the ball bounces off the roof above our heads. So there's a chance on the last play that the Lions will go on the attack. It goes wide, that pass looked forward. Kick comes in for Sargent into the backfield, and Cole Walker-Taylor has no thoughts of actually running it back. He's happy to go in at half time with Workington Town leading by 8 points to 6.
And as you would be, it's been a really good last 10 minutes there from Workington, because they were under severe pressure throughout that first half at times, but they've withstood it and gone in 2 points ahead at the break. John Sigoli will be delighted with the scoreline, and they'll be hoping for plenty more in the second half.
So half time here, Workington Town 8, Swinton Lions 6, and to be honest, it was Swinton who were the better side for probably much of that first 20 minutes once they got in the stride. They scored the first try after 14 minutes, an angled kick towards the post. Baker, the man who eventually touched it down. It was a beautiful kick, wasn't it?
It was inch perfect as well, and from a loose forward to go and dive onto it, that's exactly what you want from a Swinton Lions perspective.
That was converted by Will Roberts for a 6-0 advantage, and then like I said, they had to wait 20 minutes before they had an opportunity, but when Workington got that opportunity they took it, and as pinpoint as the kick was to get Baker over, it was a brilliant pass from Carter down this left side, wasn't it?
Inch perfect, as they would say. It's absolutely beautiful the way he just downed it straight to Eccleston's hands, and it was a walk in from there.
Yeah, I think even I might have scored that one. And I'm not, and you've seen me move. I don't move very fast, but it was the quality on that pass. I can't quote or give enough credit to the quality of that pass.
Absolutely superb, and just like the conversion as well.
Oh yeah, he certainly he nudged that one over, didn't he? That was a brilliant kick from the touchline. So at that point it was 6 points each, and then Swinton had a bit of a brain freeze just right near half time, because I think it was Roby who's had a really good first half for the Swinton Lions. He just said something out of turn to referee Adam Williams, and as a result, from 40 metres out, up steps Carter, get another 2 points, and Workington Town at the front.
Exactly, and it might not have been pretty in that first half at times, but to go in 2 points ahead at the break, that's exactly what John Sigoli wanted probably.
So 8 points to 6 at half time here at Hayward Road. Don't go anywhere, because we've got another brilliant half of rugby league coming up. It's going to be Swinton Lions who will kick off this second half, and they'll kick towards the car park area to our left hand side, where I have to say I'm still pretty pleased that I didn't get my car in there.
Well, I'm sure it's a relief as well.
So 8 points to 6 in favour of Workington Town. What do you think both coaches will have said?
I think from a Workington perspective, they'll be very pleased that they're in front, but it'll be more cutting out the errors and keep that defence up as well if needed. From a Swinton Lions perspective, probably be more clinical when they're up near the line, because they've got into positions, they've just not really finished it off as well.
So the shrill whistle of Adam Williams sets us off, and so too does the boot of halfback Will Roberts. And Workington Town with first use of possession. It's Guy Graham running it 15 out from his own line before being met by 3 strong defensive players there, leading the way with the experienced pair of Rodden and Sidlow. Then the inexperienced Grice takes the next carry for Workington down this right side, just on the edge of his own 20 metre line. Ball moved back in field. Lucas Castle rolled to the ground 30 metres out from his own line now. He'll play this ball to Doran. Doran will continue working the right channel and links with Galea, and he's going nowhere. Doesn't get much change out of Gav Rodden there, but then again, not many people do in League One. Infield, it's moved now to Stevenson. Stevenson crosses the 40-metre line, but again, doesn't make that much ground beyond it. Last tackle has been reached. It's a solid first set for Workington Town. What's the kick going to be like? Well, Weir kicks it over the top. It's a short one. It'll bounce up in favour of Baker, who feeds it back to Sargent, and Sargent is tackled by Grice 30 metres from his own line. Solid first set, that. Good work from both sides.
It was. I think both teams will be really pleased with it, because, you know, just getting into the second half, make sure there's no errors as well, you know, it's really important.
Fitzgerald in the centre of the ground plays it from a Swinton Lions point of view, and now it's Anderson. Had that great run down the left hand side in the first half, and Ellis Anderson plays it back to Roby. Roby then links it with Jordan Brown. He was a player that actually got himself sin-binned at Workington earlier this year. Let's hope, for his sake at least, that lightning doesn't strike twice as the kick comes in from Will Roberts. He'll find a good touch 10 metres away from the Workington Town line. That's another real solid set, that.
Yeah, exactly. Just put a little bit of pressure on Workington here as well. Swinton will be really pleased with that. But I also want to point out Cole Walker-Taylor, I didn't mention in the first half.
Oh yeah.
From his point of view, coming in last minute, really, I think he's done a really, really good job. He's done everything he needed to do, and he's not looked out of place there whatsoever. You know
what? He was always fantastic in the National Conference League. So I'm sure regular listeners and watchers of National Conference League Rugby League will be saying, well, he's been doing this for years for Loughborough Hornets. Why are they getting excited about it? But there's a difference, isn't there, when you're stepping up?
Yeah, it's not just that extra level up. It's like any sport, in any sport, really. It's like that.
Oh, Zaringalia has spilled the ball on the right side under pressure from Ellis Anderson. He cuts a frustrated figure as he goes back. Lucas Castle taps him on the back of the head and says, don't worry, mate, we'll tackle and try and ensure that Swinton Lions don't make anything from this. The Lions, meanwhile, have pointed that they want a central scrum. We're seeing this a lot, aren't we? Since the NRL brought this in, where you could choose where you wanted your scrum to be formed, and it's come over here. We're seeing teams move it around a bit and mix it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really helps the spine as well, link in and then try, catch the defensive team out napping. It's just one of those things, and I think they'll try and do that in this set with Swinton here, as you can see.
So Stevens feeds the scrum, Roby takes it, Stevens gets the ball back on this left side. They are trying to work them way into an overlap, but Ellis Anderson is caught 10 metres out from the line. Somehow Town got 3 players involved in the stop. Jacassi is the first one to get away. Weir and it was the fullback Cole Walker-Taylor who came up with the stop, but they're still asking the questions here. Swinton Lions 10 metres out. Here's Roby linking with Stevens, tries to throw a dummy. No one's buying that one. There's plenty of defence on this side of the field for Workington as well. It means there's got to be gaps elsewhere from a Swinton Lions point of view. And nice little run around with Roby. Roby tries to burrow his way beneath the post. Ooh, just held up short. Good defensive work from Workington. 2 metres from the line, Rodden. Long ball left. It goes over the head of Stevens. And then it's spilled by Anderson into the hands of Zaringalia. Oh, put your glasses down. He's off over the halfway line. Has he got the pace? Can he get all the way? He's sweeping over. Brilliant score from Zaringalia. I found another octave in my voice. It's another Galia special.
Oh, what a try that was. What an absolutely brilliant, breathtaking try that was from Zaringalia. We've seen him do this plenty of times this season, and he's just got improved himself out of position as well.
And nearly every time he's done it, my voice has found another octave. I mean, that was absolutely superb. What a pickup, what pressure there was. And I mean, again, it came from a position where Lions were asking questions.
Exactly, but like I said before, the clinical nature of what Workington Town's played throughout the game has been absolutely superb. And there you've got a real foot race between the Swinton Lions defenders and Zaringalia, but he backed himself and scored the try.
And just for a couple of seconds, it did look like Frank Sargent was going to get him, didn't it? But then he just weaved and bobbed a little bit.
Yeah, he hung on his coattails throughout that, but Zaringalia will be absolutely delighted with that.
So that try comes after how long, Harvey?
45 minutes. Yeah, I've actually got the timer on right this time. Jake Carter will be hoping to make it 3 out of 3 and, extend the score to 14 points to 6 here.
What are we saying there? He's gone about 80 metres with that, hasn't he, from the pickup?
Comfortably, but he's so sharp onto it, and that's exactly what everyone wants to see from a Town perspective. Being really sharp and clinical.
This is the first time I've really appreciated the music that's being played in favour of a Workington Town point of view, as Carter lines this one up. He's just to the right hand side of the post. As Harvey said, can he make it 3 from 3? Left footed, flags raised, you better believe it. And you better believe as well that it's Swinton Lions 6, Workington Town 14 at the start of this second half. That could be crucial.
It could absolutely be crucial at this point of the game where it's, anyone's game. The 8-point lead and the 2-try score lead is absolutely massive.
So back on the halfway line, the Lions get us underway. It's a really long kick. And what's going to be ruled here? Is it going to be a dropout from under the post?
It is indeed.
I think what he was trying to do there was take the ball on the full to make it a penalty.
Yeah.
But he just misjudged it by a fraction.
Ever so slightly, but Jamie Doran will be open to try and weave some magic.
And to be fair,
it's not Doran either.
To be fair, you won't put it past anybody to come up with some magic here. Carter's dropped it short. Town have gone for it. It's bounced up here for Stevenson. Referee's ruled it as a knock on.
Ever so slightly away from what I was just saying before, that'd be perfect for me, but
Guy Graham couldn't believe it. He was with you all the way. He was saying that was magic.
He was, but big defensive set needed here from Workington Town.
Yeah, concentration levels have to certainly go up a notch now for the next 30 seconds or however long this set lasts. Jack Stevens, the former Salford man, to feed this scrum. Was pretty effective for the Lions last season, made 11 appearances by the way, Stevens. Took him a long time to break into the side this time round, but working a move down the right side. Run coming in there from Louis Roberts. Louis Roberts about 6 metres out from the line, and that's as far as he gets because Howlett was all over him. Good tackle. Referee waves all on though. It's another set of 6 coming up here as Roberts links it into the middle with Baker. He's been good today, really good, Kenny Baker. Again, a vastly experienced forward, spells with Rochdale and with Widnes and with North Wales Crusaders. Long amateur career as well, as they're spreading the ball down the right side. Short ball there. Tackle coming in there on Aaron Lynch. Lynch to play it 5 metres out from the line. Referee will penalise Workington Town here for holding on just too long. He did wipe the tackle count clear a little bit earlier on in the set, so it's more pressure coming up against the Workington Town defence, and Eccleston comes away from that one a little bit worse for wear. Sidlow goes direct at the centre of the defence, put down just to the right hand side of the post. Roby knows what's happening to the left, feeds it into the arms of the half back, and then Baker goes forward. He stopped just 2 metres out from the line. Roby has Rodden to his left. The ball passes him. Oh, and was that a little knock on against Ellis Anderson? Referee says no. And that's a good tackle in the end from Guy Graham to wrestle him down 1-on-1. Graham then just goes all over the top of him again, which slows it down. Stevens runs it to the right, links it out with Roberts. Oh, they went to an overlap here. Oh, they've got the defence across to Fitzgerald and they've stopped him shy of the line. Good defence again from Workington. Plenty of pink shirts over there. Is there a gap somewhere else? Will Roberts throws back to the right, puts a kick. It's then funneled back into the arms there of Cole Walker-Taylor. And I'm not sure how much Howlett knew about that, but he was a little bit like a fielder in cricket then, wasn't he? The way he got down to that.
It was. I also thought it was in the slips or something,
Quick reactions.
But I want to say Rio Corker in that set was absolutely superb defensively.
Yeah, he came up with a couple of shots, didn't he, in that set? Yeah, I agree with you. I think just the way that he's marshalled himself defensively has been really good through the game, as Stevenson offers himself up for another carry. He's over at the 20 metre line, but the 50 metres hard to come by as Doran feeds it left to Howlett. Howlett shovels the ball back to Cole Walker-Taylor. Walker-Taylor will have to play it on his own 30 metre line, but they've run out of tackles. Last one in this set. Kick comes in from Carter. It's a long one, but it's a simple take in the end for Louis Roberts, who fires it across to Sargent, and they'll try the counter-attack. He'll try and get on the outside of Zorin Galea, but he forces him back into the chest there of Don Weir. Galea and Weir in the same channel.
It's the duo we always needed.
It is. We didn't realise we needed it up until today, did we? But here comes Swinton. Over the halfway line they go. Side hits up 2 from Fitzgerald. Ball across to Baker. Baker links with Stevens. Short ball for Rodden. The defence has got to him well. Oh, it's popped up out of Rodden's hands. Fortunately for them, it's gone backwards, but the referee has ruled that it's hit a Workington Town hand, so it is going to be a knock-on.
And as we've kept saying throughout this game, it's absolutely superb defence from Workington Town.
I mean, this is one area, that you can't criticise Workington Town on. They do an awful lot of work defensively. They do. They seem to relish it. They seem to enjoy it. I mean, it's the side of a game that nobody likes putting themselves forward for a tackle, really, surely. But yet, Workington Town, they're against convention. They do really seem to enjoy the whack.
I think John Scott will be absolutely delighted with it so far as well, the defensive work.
And it's these completions coming out of their own end as Jacassi plays it just outside his own 40. Guy Graham, big charge. Rolled on his back, however, it will be a slightly slower play the ball. Doran picks up, sends it to Grice. Short running forward, Grice there. He's picked up, he's sent all the way back to the halfway line. You can see what he's thinking, because in the reserve level of rugby, the referee will call held when he goes off the ground, but it doesn't happen as Galea breaks the line. He's off down the ground again. It forces a tackle from fullback Louis Roberts. Brings him down inside the 30s after a quick play of the ball. Here comes Weir, links with Doran. Doran bounces out of one challenge, skips across to the left. He's still going here, Doran. Eventually takes on 2 of the biggest forwards that he could find in the middle of the field in Davis and Sidlow. Plays it on the edge of the 20-metre line. Ball flung to the left. Infield it comes to Cole Walker-Taylor. He's put down 10 metres out from the line. Last tackle here for Workington Town. Is something going to come on the back of this one? Doran schemes. Tries to thread the ball through. Stevens drops on it, thankfully enough. And Swinton will start to attack just 5 metres out from their own line.
And another really, really good set in attack from Workington there, because putting real pressure on the Swinton Lions line and making them come 95 metres to try and score a try. And
once again, challenging themselves to come up with the tackles.
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's been like that throughout the game. They'll be hoping for even more.
Oh, and again, the defence is really, really solid there on Jordan Brown. He's going nowhere. They're now 3 or 4 tackles into this set, and they're not outside their own 20 yet. They might escape the clutches now, just for a second. Stevens does get outside the 20, but it's the last tackle on this left-hand side. Ball play back towards the middle. Will Roberts gets his kick away under a little bit of pressure, but it's only as far as Eccleston, who catches it on the full 30 metres from his own line and charges up to halfway. What a kick return that was. I get the feeling that this game is just swinging back in favour of Workington Town.
You would say that so far, I think, even though they have made the odd error here and there, they're all getting together as a group and, getting on the front foot.
That was 2 brilliant carries from Corkill and Castle to keep the momentum moving forward, and then Stevenson bouncing out of a couple of challenges. He stopped just 29 metres out from the try line, directly in the middle of the field. Doran will work it to Castle. Castle will play it off to Weir. Weir just has to put the brakes on because Grice had overran him and he didn't want to run in that channel because it would have been a penalty. Last tackle signalled here. Doran works it right. Cole Walker-Taylor puts it on the boot. That's a clever kick. Zarin Gallier back on the inside. Cole Walker-Taylor works it back, but it bounces up into the arms there of Baker. And Baker does really well. Brings it across to the right hand side. Good link up play here for Swinton Lions. Running chance for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald eventually put down 30 metres from his own line. About 10 metres in from touch. I don't know about you, but that Lions roar is starting to get on my nerves. I don't know whether you can hear it at home, but it's right in my ear. Still Workington Town leading by 14 points to 6. I'm not even going to ask you to comment on that one, to be honest, Harvey. But this is a really good charge coming forward by Bobby Shingler, former Warrington junior. Again, picked up at dummy half by Jordan Pagger. So Pagger also offers a bit of versatility for Swinton Lions. On the bounce, that's taken in by Baker. Drifts off to this left hand side, hands it to Anderson. Anderson skips out of the tackle from Weir, and then Grice jumped on his back and stopped him from going any further. Last tackle signalled here, the 40 metres out. Stevenson put under a bit of pressure by Stevenson. Up in the air it went, and as a result, Corkill takes it in over on that left-hand side, and he'll play this ball 20 metres out from his own line. He's taken down the left wing side there. I think that's Cooper Howlett underneath all that. It's a lightning quick play, the ball. And Eccleston, solid carry, just keeping those markers honest. And Town approaching halfway with aplomb. They'll get over halfway now through this first carry from Callum Farrer. Nice to see him out on the field for a stint, and he plays it back to Doran. Kick comes in from Carter. That's a clever kick out towards the touchline, and finds the touchline as well. Just keeps Workington Town in the right area of the field, and will still lead by 8 points in this one.
Yeah, just keeps them ticking over for sure. I think they'll be really pleased with that set, 'cause I think it was well worked, and the kick from Carter there was absolutely perfect.
I feel like we've done a further stint in this second half now. Roughly how far are we in?
57 minutes.
57 minutes. So maybe after 60 minutes I'll come to you for your thoughts on the third quarter.
No worries, that's fine.
Infield, it's worked from a Swinton Lions point of view. Bobby Shingler full of running, rolled on his back however, controlled by Doran, controlled by Castle. Just slowed to play the ball down crucially as Pago works it left. Eventually ends with Rodden, and Rodden drifts to the right, trying to work something, but again that defence is good from Town. Still Swinton playing the ball inside their own 40 metre line. Across to Will Roberts. Will Roberts gets his kick away. Jacessi's got to get on his bike. Sargent's coming in behind him. Good pick up there from Cole Walker-Taylor in his own 20 metre line, and Sargent did well. It was a really spirited chase from him, and he's feeling the after effects of it. He's Cole Walker-Taylor, so it will be a slower play of the ball, this one. He's some concern being shown for him as well. They didn't seem like there was much in it, to be honest, but perhaps there was more in that hit than we thought.
Yeah, it might have been down there on the field, but from here it looked like it was just a bit innocuous, I think. But
it's his hip. Looks like a hip issue for Cole Walker-Taylor. Certainly the Town physio across to him, asking questions. Where does it hurt? Can you still move? And he just says, yeah. So she says, well, go on then, you can play this ball. So play will get back underway. Workington just inside their own 20 metre line. Don Weir keeping his concentration. Referee just waiting until the pitch has been cleared, and Jacessi offers himself up for a carry. Stands himself up well. Rolled on his back, does well there, Jacessi. That's a good play of the ball as well. Grice, big carry from him. 12 metres made, makes a couple after contact. Lightning quick play of the ball. Doran links with Farrer. They're rolling forward now at Town, 42 metres out from their own line. Doran at dummy half again. Links with Graham. Graham throws a dummy this time. There was a lot of heavy traffic in the middle of that field from a Swinton Lions point of view. Didn't want to risk it, and as a result they got to the last tackle here, Workington. Doran kicks out of dummy half. I do like a 9 that can kick. He's hung that ball high. Sargent comes for it, takes it, starts the counter attack, then gets himself pushed back a couple of metres, and will play this 25 out from his own line, 10 metres in from touch. Town again go back into defensive mode. Big hit from Farrer on Anderson. Still Workington Town lead by 14 points to 6. Sargent struggling on this near side touchline. The defence moves in from Workington again. Guy Graham leading the line on this particular occasion as Will Roberts launches the ball down the right with Davis. Davis is tackled though. Still inside his own half of the field. Across it comes to Will Roberts. Will Roberts into the arms of Stevens. Short ball from Rodden. Grice comes in with the tackle, but there's a bit of a late hit that comes in on Will Roberts, and as a result it's going to be a penalty to Swinton Lions. They were doing everything right in that set up until that particular point, Harvey. Yeah,
it was a little bit of a late shot on him, and disappointing really from a Workington perspective there, because when you were doing so well in the set, to go and give away a silly penalty like that will be a real coach killer.
Yeah, there was no real need for it, was there, to be honest. They controlled the rest of the set, and now they've invited Swinton Lions to come down the ground. They'll tap this penalty 35 metres out. and you're just giving him a good ball set for no reason. Stevens works it across to Will Roberts. Now Louis Roberts drops it back over his shoulder looking for Aaron Lynch, and Lynch is wrapped up by 3. Didn't fancy it once Lucas Castle loomed on the horizon. Man, it's like seeing the Death Star coming at you, isn't it? It's huge. Across to Will Roberts. Short ball for Rodden. Inside the 20-metre line goes Swinton Lions. Town man the barricades again. Across the middle it goes. All the way across to the right-hand side. Will Roberts slides the kick through. Good reactions from Carter. He's another one that must have played cricket once upon a time.
Yeah, get him in at short leg.
He certainly cut off the single there, didn't he? 10 metres out from their own line. Workington Town. And it's another strong carry from Corkill. He's done this on more than one occasion to relieve his pack, hasn't he, Corkill?
Yeah, he's had a superb game.
Oh, but saying that, we've cursed him. He's come up with a handling error just as he's getting up.
I'm assuming he'll just want a bit more defence like he's done throughout this game.
You know what I'm going to say, Harvey? Welcome to the team. We've all come up with a commentator's curse, and now I think you've landed your first one.
Well, yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah.
So Workington Town still lead by 14 points to 6. More attacking possession coming up from a Swinton Lions point of view. We're into the last 20 minutes now, and the hosts down by 8 points. Anderson skips around, feeds the ball out to Sargent. Sargent comes in off his wing. Oh, I thought if he'd gone for the touchline there, he was over. But he didn't think he'd get in, and as a result, they're playing the ball, they're moving it across to Will Roberts. He drops it off for Sinclair. And Alfie Sinclair, 10 metres out from the line, just seemed to slow the move down that from Swinton. Pagger to his left to Baker. Baker skips to the right again. Looks for the offload, then decides he can go it alone. He stopped 5 metres out from the line. Great tackle there from Stevenson. Long ball into the arms of Stevens. He turns it back in field. They're in! Swinton Lions are in, and running the angle on the inside was Will Roberts, and that was a superb bit of play and a lovely inside pass from Stevens.
A really, really good try that from Swinton. I think it all started with Baker doing a few step overs there, and then he gives it onto the halfback, and then obviously Admison went onto it, and brilliant try. And it took something special to get past this Workington Town defence.
And I tell you what, he's lightning quick and he's kicking as well. He's Will Roberts, so not only does he come up with the try, he's come up with the goal as well. That has moved the scoreline on. It's now 12 points to Swinton Lions, 14 points to Workington Town. And that try came after how long, Harry?
About 63 minutes.
So it now seems like a good time to come to you. Now we've seen the first 20 minutes of that second half. And again, Swinton showing they're not out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that I thought Workington Town were fronting up really, really well in defence, and they still have, but a little bit of special play there from Swinton. They brought them right back into this game, and we're in for a cracking final 15-16 minutes or so.
Carter back on the halfway line, gets us back underway. It's a mid-range restart, hung it up. Stevens looks round, sees there's nobody to pass to, and gets absolutely whacked by Grice. How do you think he's gone in this, what will be his debut for Town?
I think he needs to be proud of himself. I think he's grown into the game throughout it. It was a tough start, like the way Swinton were playing, but he's really grown into it, and he's played really well.
He's not the biggest of second rows, is he? But
no, he's not. No.
He's certainly pretty chunky and has thrown himself around. As is this fella, Kenny Baker.
Yeah.
Ooh, that tackle just brings him down. There's a bit of derision amongst here. It was an ugly-looking challenge. Pagger skips out of dummy half. Good work from him. Growing in confidence again, feeding the ball back. Here's Louis Roberts. Running free just for a second. Doran brings him down on the 30-metre line. Last tackle signalled here. Stevens into the arms of Will Roberts. Will Roberts puts this one high. Eccleston takes it. Eccleston 10 metres from his own line. There's a bit of afters between Louis Roberts and Guy Graham. Meanwhile, Workington Town try to skip their way away from their own line. They're 20 metres out from their own line now. Castle moves into dummy half. Hands it on to Jacassi. Jacassi takes the challenge. Buys his side 5 metres, quick play the ball. Grice offers himself up. Oh, that was a fearsome challenge that headed his way. And a fearless run from Grice.
Yep, throughout the game, he's just done that throughout, you know. He's done really, really well and he's shone.
Stevie Scholl is back out there. Oh, and Gav Rodden really did give him some in that one. Forced him back. Referee asks, he asked the referee about it as the kick comes in. Only gets as far as Louis Roberts. There's Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald will play it 5 metres inside his own half. This game on a knife edge. Workington Town still leading by 14 points to 12. It's anybody's as Sargent takes that hit from Grice, and it did just ride a little high. I don't think it needs this much reaction, to be fair.
I think that try's given them a bit of the crowd another lift.
The crowd are behind it, aren't they?
They are indeed.
They're here for it now. Swinton's still behind by 14 points to 12, but they're in a decent attacking position. 30 metres out from the line. Ellis Anderson taps it, turns the ball infield to Stevens. He drops it back for Sinclair, who tackles him low down, but Grice up top was Weir. Pagger moves it infield. Stevens back over his shoulder for Baker. Good yards from him. 15 out from the try line now, Swinton Lions. Pagger pointing off to the left. That's where the ball goes. Stevens onto Anderson. Anderson rolled to the deck. Good work from Howlett. And they'll go from dummy half. Oh, has Pagger done enough to get over? Pagger has spun his way over. Referee hasn't given it yet. And it's all kicked off now. There's players flying in from all directions. Wow. The referee still hasn't given the try here, by the way. He's not pointed to the deck. He's not blown his whistle. It all seemed to erupt as Pagger got himself over the line. But did he actually ground it? The reaction of everybody tells you that he probably did. But this hasn't been given yet. And now the red mist has gone away. And the try has been awarded to Pagger. So Swinton Lions in front.
Indeed, you know, they just put that pressure on since the last try, and it's just 68 minutes gone here, and you know that's exactly what you want. They just wilted under a little bit of pressure there from Pagger. You know, it was a really burrowed his way over from a tight angle, and it's glad to see that the Swinton Lions defence and attackers were absolutely delighted with it. And from Workington Town perspective, it's about trying to get back into this game now after being behind for the first time in a long time. Yeah,
it's just the second time that Swinton Lions have been in front. They led 6-0 early doors, and they held that lead for 20 minutes. If they hold that lead for that similar amount of time, well, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's disappointing from a Workington Town perspective because they were just getting on top, and then Swinton Lions have just found a second wind, I think it's fair to say.
So, Will Roberts, the goal-kicking half-back, looking to extend this advantage that is currently in Swinton's favour by 2 points. He's about 20 metres in from touch. This is almost like the corridor of uncertainty from a rugby league point of view, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah.
As a kicker, you're expected to slot these over, but these would be the ones that would be really nervy for me. And the Swinton Lions crowd falls silent, so too does the loudspeaker system. And has he done enough? The cheers will tell you all we need to know. It is now Swinton Lions 18, Workington Town 14. So the referee stopping the clock for now. He's put the whole incident that kicked off after that try was scored by Pagger. Well, he hadn't awarded it at that point, but there was just players flying in from all angles. Our whole incident has been put on report. Probably not what we want to see in a rugby league field, to be honest. As the ball sent long and high to Stevens. Into the arms there of Shingler. Shingler really well caught. Swinton inside their own 20-metre line. Sinclair rounded in by the defence as well. If they can force an error, Town, they've still got the hope of it. There's still a bit of time left in this game.
Oh yeah, there's 10-12 minutes left yet, so I think it's just about building that pressure, but an error here will be crucial.
Doesn't look like it's coming though, mind you. Swinton getting excited, throwing the ball from left and to right and bringing it back to the middle of Louis Roberts. He's 32 metres from his own line, plays this ball. Pagger sends it right, kick comes in. It's a good kick that from Will Roberts. Jakesi will pick it up inside his own 20-metre line. Can he find a bit of space? Runs it back into contact. Some solid contact there as well from Swinton Lions. He's wrestling with half the pack there and does pretty well, just Jakesi. Plays it 30 metres from his own line. Here's Eccleston. Solid carry from him as well. Back line getting in to relieve the pressure off the forwards. Try and get quick play of the balls like that. Stevenson charges on. It's another good carry from Stevenson. Plays it just inside his own half. Ball comes into the middle of Carter. Carter drops it back to Castle. Castle well held. Still inside their own half here, Workington Town. Can they get some field position? Doran out to Weir. Defence was good, but Weir slips the ball out to Gallia, and then it's picked up by Jakesi on this right side. He just wrong-footed. I think it was Sargent there, but the defence was already there, and it's the last tackle here. Doran gets his kick away. Oh, he's fired right through that one. Well picked up from Roberts, the fullback. Skips his way over the 30-metre line again and will play it. It's a really good kick return, that.
It is. I think obviously since the first error Roberts made in the game, he's just looked comfortable throughout.
Oh, and that's a great pick up. Will Roberts finds Louis Roberts, and I don't know how much he knew about it, but he's showing great reactions. And a big run from Sinclair. Gets over the halfway line, rolled on his back. Packer works dummy half, puts it in the arms of Stevens. He works it across right. Baker. You know what? I'm going to call it early. If I'm calling a man of the match in this, I'm going with Baker. I think he's been brilliant this afternoon for Swinton.
You've read my mind. I think he's been absolutely superb throughout it, and he's created so many problems for that Town defence. Big
charge from Redcliffe as well to get inside the 40-metre line at the Town end of the ground. Last tackle. Big kick into touch from Stevens. Well, the clock is the thing that's against Workington Town now.
We've got 8 minutes or so.
Oh, it's an age, really. It's an age.
It is. It could just be a breakaway try, you never know.
Well, we've already seen it, haven't we? Zarin Galea.
We have indeed, yeah. We're hoping for more of the same here.
And the Town had such a positive opening to this second half. But again, they've been found themselves lacking field position, I would say, over the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like they need to get into their own D and see what they can do from there.
So Farah straight through the middle. Doran moves into dummy half, sends it left. Carter links with Galea. Galea's gone back to full back now, so that looks like Cole Walker-Taylor has he's gone off with that hip problem, I think, hasn't he now?
Yeah, I feel like if you're just not right, it's not worth risking it at this part of the game, because you need as many fit players on the pitch as possible.
Castle on the halfway line. Kick comes in from Carter. Ooh, that's a clever kick. And then it's hit forward on the volley by Eccleston, and will find the touchline. Improvised in the end, but it does buy them this field position.
Exactly, very unorthodox, but sometimes it works out, and it has there for Workington. They'll be open to put some pressure on the Swinton Lions here, and hopefully make an error of some sort.
As a result of the shuffle that's happened, it has meant that we've got Howlett playing out in this right centre at the moment. I mean, this is a tall right wing pairing, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Between Howlett and Jakesi. Grice throws himself into the challenge, so too Doran. Roby's back out there for Swinton. Takes that hit, 30 metres from his own line. They know that they've just got to control this game now, as Redcliffe wrestled to the deck by Doran. 32 metres out from their own line here, Swinton. Here's Rodden. Good run from him. Works it back to Roberts. He then feeds it back to Louis Roberts. Castle, big arms came and outstretched and dragged the fullback in. They're running through the tackles here though, Swinton. Sinclair sees the going, he's tough and he's tackled inside his own half of the field. Last one in this set, ball back to Stevens. Looked like he set himself for a 40-20 and Gallia's across to cut it off. Gallia skips away from Anderson. Big hit coming in from Roby though. 30 metres out from their own line here, Workington Town. Jacassi calls for it, gets it. Big carry to gain 9 metres, 9 hard fought metres. Now the play the ball will come in to Weir. Weir out to Howlett. Howlett put down near the halfway line. Quick play the ball. Weir onto Jacassi. Jacassi scanning, looking what's on. Another good carry from him. He's come into the game well too.
He has, especially the last 10-15 minutes, you know, when the going's got tough, he's really put his name up there and shone.
Middles linking as Guy Graham finds Ross Ainley, but Ainley will play it 40 metres out. Last tackle signalled here. Carter on the left, long ball out to Eccleston. He puts boot on ball. Still we play on the last tackle. Stevenson, was that played? That was a real rough pass for Weir. Weir has it. Weir kicks it over the top. It's well taken in by Rodden. And now Stevens has it, and Stevens falls to the challenge of Grice, 40 metres out from the line. That was a real comedy of errors on the last tackle, but I suppose, like you said, Town have to come up with the unorthodox.
They do, but I don't think they've quite meant it like that, but you know, the big defence here needed.
I think they're listening to you, Harvey. That's what I think.
Well, you know, the PDRL magic in me, what can I say, Dave?
Over the halfway line goes Swinton Lions. Roby picks up, Roby runs, buys himself time and space, and 40 metres away from the line is where he plays it. Sinclair follows up, moving the ball well down the right side. Jake Davis is all held, 30 metres out from the line, 10 metres in from touch. Ball moved to Will Roberts. Will Roberts keeps his kick low. Gallia picks it up, checks where the defence is, tries to round Will Roberts. Half gets round him. Roberts then rides high with the challenge. I'm surprised we've not seen a penalty for that one.
Yeah, it was quite surprising. It was quite a high shot, but you know, this is where Workington will have to, you know, dig deep and try and get out their own D.
Eccleston, 15 out from his own line. Ball played across to Corkill. Corkill outside his own 20 now, on that left-hand side of the field. Ainley to Weir. Guy Graham trying to split the line. Does well there, does Guy Graham. Quick play the ball too. Ball on this right side. Weir. He's being marched towards the touchline. Jacassi takes the ball off him. Jacassi's on the run. Oh, big hit from Reddycliffe. Jacassi gets rid of him. Jacassi still going, spinning, twisting, turning. Eventually yields to the shot on the halfway line. Plays it back to Weir. Weir finds Doran. Doran drifts across. Long ball out. Here's Stevenson. Stevenson tucks it under the wing. I thought he was going to offload it then. It was the last tackle. I think he just got carried away. He just lost it then.
Yeah, it's been the same last couple of sets on the last tackle. It's just like a bit nervous around the edges and everything. The kicking just hasn't been quite where John Sigolio wanted it to be, but they'll be hoping, you know, to try and still figure out a way in the next couple of minutes to win.
Oh, so how long's left now, do you think?
2 minutes or so.
Oh, flipping out. It's getting intense. It's getting tight. Swinton Lions looking to get their way to victory. It was a risky offload from Rodden. He can't help himself, can Gav Rodden. He's always playing like this. He's had a superb second half as Stevens drops it over his shoulder, looking for the running of Reddycliffe. Reddycliffe in the middle of the field, 35 metres out from the line. Swinton 18, Workington 14. Ball across to the right. Will Roberts, I thought he was going to turn it in field. Eventually the tackle came in from Guy Graham though. Oh, and then he's given away another set of 6 here, Guy Graham. So it's more possession for the Swinton Lions. He's taking his time as well as Will Roberts. Baker back to Reddycliffe. Reddycliffe again goes back at Stevenson. Goes back at Graham. Graham looks absolutely shot at out there. If his last 2 tackles are anything to go by, as Baker opens it out. Stevenson finds Anderson, who skips away from 2. Now he straightens up. He's inside the final 10. Good run from Ellis Anderson, that. Didn't half remind me of his dad when he was running then. It's that Paul used to play for Lee, and he's gone over of Swinton Lions. Little short play to the right hand side of the ruck. He's gone over. It was a really quick play of the ball. I think that's game, set and match now to Swinton Lions.
You'd have to think so there, you know. He just smashed his way over from a tight angle, but you know, I think last 10-15 minutes that has been coming. The pressure has kept building on Workington Town, and unfortunately there, Swinton Lions have gone and capitalised on that.
Well, they couldn't defend the extra set of 6 which the defence had given away, and again it's a cute play around the dummy half position which has been Workington Town's undoing.
Yeah, that's throughout the game, and I think it's just little bits and bobs that we've seen from Swinton in the last 10-15 minutes. Have just kept building and building the pressure, but you know, it's been a cracking game this for a League One match. You know, both sides will be. It's just one of those things from Workington Town now. I think it's just.
I was hoping we'd get an announcement of who's actually scored that, because there was plenty of bodies that was throwing their way forward, and
there were about 100 players, weren't there?
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like, and we've even had the guy that's writing the match report coming to us, and I don't think anybody's seen who scored.
Well, I don't think it matters now in a way, in certain terms, just purely for the fact that Swinton have gone and got the crucial 2 League One points.
So, Will Roberts with this conversion attempt. That's one thing we are sure of. The kicker just to the left-hand side of the post. I'm sure he could put this one over with his carpet slippers. Runs up now. Right-footed. The flags are raised once again. And Swinton Lions lead in this one by 24 points to 14. And there won't be any time to get back underway. That was a real knockout blow right at the end from the Swinton Lions, scoring their 4th try of the afternoon. Will Roberts converting for Workington Town. It's